have produced, I think, 3 past presidents of the institution. Yes. Our speaker, our guest speaker for today is one of them, Chief Doshu Fatokun, past president of the institution. We have House of Estates, Bode, ESB Bode Adidiji, who incidentally is also the faculty alumni president. And then you have Dr. Patola Ajayi, past president of the institution. And I tell you that in about 2 or so years, we are going to have the 4th president of the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers, the person of our own first vice president of the institution, Victor Alonge. We are in the forefront in practice, the forefront in academics. On the high table, you see 2 of our big professors who graduated from this department. And there are so many of them, so many, all over the place, doing head of department here and there, doing dean here and there. For example, one of our alumnus, also on the high table, is the dean of the Faculty of the Built Environment at the Redeemers University. You know, big professors, the department has the largest number of professors of any department of estate management in Nigeria. You talk about Professor Ashaju, also of FUT Akure. You talk about Professor Aluko. You talk about myself. You talk about Professor Adegoke. Where is he? Yes. Professor Laleye. Professor Adebayo, also of FUTA. There are so many of them. Professor Babawale at the University of Lagos, who incidentally is online with us today. Incidentally, he had a first class, one of the first class in our department. So, we are proud. The faculty, the department, the HOD is still going to talk. Let me not preempt what he's going to say, but we have the most distinguished, hardworking, benevolent alumni in this faculty. There are 7 departments in our faculty. The alumni of the Department of Estate Management are, by any standard, #1. I want to say that we are proud of you. Alumni, great Ife. You are great indeed. We really appreciate you. And God will continue to bless you as you heed the call of the head of department for more funds. Amen. Thank you very much.
Wow, please let's put our hands together for our dean. It's not easy. Thank you very much. I noticed something. Our dean said all that off tempo. Please, once again, put your hands together for our dean. It's not easy. That's amazing. Thank you very much. You see, there's something I'll tell us about our head of department in the person of Dr. Matthew. He's a man of few words. He doesn't talk too much. He's a man of action. He say a few things, and that will be it. So, we just want to call on him for his opening speech from the head of department, Dr. Matthew Oyewole.
Our daddy, Professor C. Ajayi, Chief Dusfatokum, Chief Dos Fatokun, my Ogaz, professor on the high table, Professor and Professor Mrs. Bello, our beloved Dean, Professor Olusegun Ogunba, all the others and professors online, Professor Adegoke, Dr. Eni Bello, the acting dean of Faculty of Environmental Studies, University of Ilorin, Dr. Ajani, the vice dean of Faculty of Social Science, and others. Just like my dean said, we are blessed with very good, progressive-minded, and ever-supportive set of alumni. They have always been there for us. They have done a lot to sustain the legacy of our founding fathers. Just as highlighted by the dean, they have really helped us in the past. But I want to add that we always need them. In fact, of a recent, some months ago, during the retreats organized by the university administration, it was impressed upon us to make sure that we really establish a very good relationship with our alumni. Particularly now that, government allocation to universities is becoming more and more dwindling. So we will be calling upon our alumni very soon because accreditation is on the way and we will need to put a lot of things into others. So I just want to plead with you that, just as you have been doing, when we call upon you, you please rise up to the occasion and support the department. Just to make sure that, the kind of place that God has made this department is sustained. Without wasting your time, I want you to listen with rapt attention as one of our elders in the profession, Chief Dos Fatokun, will be giving his lecture. Thank you very much.
Once again, let's put our hands together for our HOD. I told you he's a man of few words. Thank you for making it brief and powerful. Thank you very much, sir. So we'll soon be going into the reunion lecture, and that will be delivered by ESV Chief Dos Fatokun. Before he comes on, I want to recognize the presence of Mrs. Abiodun Adejumo, all the way from Osun State University, Nigeria. Thank you for coming. And we have ESV Adekunle Tomisin, all the way from Moshood Abiola Polytechnic, Abeokuta. You are welcome, sir. God bless you. Thank you for coming. Before I call on Chief Dos Fatokun, I just want to tell us 21 reasons why reunion is important. 21 reasons. 21 reasons. I will be giving you in batches. The first one, who can help us? Networking. To meet. Sometimes you can even use reunion to meet your ex. Or you can use reunion to meet your future partner. When we talk of future partner, it's not always about marriage. What about business partner? You can meet future business partner. It's also part of networking. So with that, let us put our hands together for Chief Dos Fatokun for the reunion lecture. So you are welcome, sir. Your life.
Thank you very much. How do I start? I want to join with the Dean, Professor Ogunba, in starting with reminiscences. When I was approached for today's occasion, I was given the liberty, the freedom to speak on any issue I have only in my mind. And what came to my mind was the year 1983. I'm sure some of our colleagues here, particularly the younger ones, maybe they were still on their way to planet Earth. They were not born then. So we were having an annual conference at Uwedi. And in those days, you always struggle to want to be visible at our annual conferences. And I thought, what subject would I present paper on at that time? And it came to me that at that time, my farm, Dushufato Kwanko, was privileged to be managing Adamasigba Stadium in Ibadan and the new bag market for your state government. And it now boiled down to what professional subject one could talk upon. And what we were practically doing then was facility management, which was not really the thing then. At that time, I believe that facility management was still in its infancy. And among our colleagues, the argument arose, should it be a different discipline at all? How is it different from property management? But some of us behave as Nostradamus. I believe some of us have heard about the name Nostradamus, a French philosopher who saw tomorrow in the 18th century. We believed at that time that this is a growing area that our profession should take opportunity to look, to pry into. There were arguments, but today one is happy that the institution now has a thriving faculty of property and facility management. And our members are quite doing well. In fact, after the experience at Gbagi, we went on at Dushuato Kwanko to pioneer facility management at Central Bank. Today is one of the important functions, support services that Central Bank of Nigeria is procuring. We thank God. So I see this opportunity again to play a Nostradamus. If you look around, there are some services that are emerging in the profession. And I would not want us to be an appendage. And that services, a set of services, is what we call fixed asset management services, farm, to be precise. So that's what I really want to talk upon. Right now, the IT people are the people actually performing most of these services. And they cannot perform these services without the input of the valuation professional, because we generate the data which they use. It's either tracking, it's either digital, fixed asset. We provide the data because we are the expert when it comes to generating data on fixed asset. So before I get to the details, let me join the head of department, professor, in trying to go the memory lane. So I will start the lecture by the department in its half a century period. One may not readily observe that the department is about 52 years old today, this year, but it was established in the year 1970. And so we'll start from there. So it's a 23-page lecture, but I will try to read a bit and try to paraphrase when necessary. So I think I can go. I hope you are listening. Hello? We are gathered here today under the auspices of the Department of Estate Management of OAU, Ile-Ife. Some people say there is a difference between the then University of Ife and OAU. I don't want to start with argument. Let's go forward. The department came into being in September 1970 under the Faculty of Social Sciences, where the erudite late Professor Aluko elsewhere. The academic department was later transferred at the end of the first year to the Faculty of Technology under the able leadership of Mr. Kunle Adewahab, as he was then known, who by dint of hard work not only grows with the department to earn his doctoral degree from the University of Reading, UK, but also became the first homegrown professor of the department. He subsequently, with his colleagues on the teaching staff of the department, transformed the department to a full-fledged faculty of environmental design and management. I hope I get that all right. With multiple departments of built environment now. We now have town planning, architecture, quantity surveying, building construction. Of course, I don't know whether the Department of Fine Arts is under that faculty. I think it should be. However, to ensure that the first set of students did not lack, particularly in the core subject of the discipline, which is valuation. First professor of the department recruited in 1972. He was a Sinhalese, now known as Sri Lankan, country south of India, in the ocean. I think his name was Professor Vikramasinghe. They usually have long names. It is now a century old, how time flies, and if we go by way of fashion, comparing time as a resource or real estate, which the discipline of estate management principally revolves, there is the common characteristics of subsisting multiple interests of tenure. You know, one of the distinguishing features of real estate as a commodity is that one can create multiple interests in it, unlike some personal property. Government plus cannot do that. You own this, you can have a freeholder, you can have a leaseholder, and you can see have tenancies. That's enough of real estate. And as characteristics with time as a resource, as a commodity. There can be multiple interests of freehold, leasehold, and sublease created in one piece of real estate. God, the creator of human beings, is so while all the nearly 8 billion, the population of the world now is tending towards 8 billion. I believe 70 by year 2025, it will be 8 billion. The 8 billion population, we are all on this old interest of time. So, what differentiates real estate from time resource or time as a commodity? Why the expiring date of the leasehold interest in it is known and can be renewed. Yes, you know whether you still have, I believe I'm speaking to the audience of valuers mainly. I'm sure on expired term is a familiar term. You know whether it's 40 and you know the value you can place on that. But when it comes to time commodity, the expiring time is not known. Or does anybody in the audience know the time is going to die? That is the expiring time. So we don't know. That's a major difference. And just by the way of acknowledging that the Department of Estate Management has indeed productively utilized the time it has had on this planet Earth. So to God be the glory. God should indeed be praised for being the sole custodian of this secret. It is heartening to observe that the time resource of the department has indeed been extremely productive and fruitful. A good number of the old students have been professors, strengthening and building capacity for the alma mater. I'm sure the Dean, Professor Gumba, has named almost about 10 or 15 professors from that department. And one, he did not mention Professor Ujo, Olatoye Ujo. I think he has now the head of department at University of Ibadan. And he pioneered the establishment of the department in the University of Ibadan. I think that's good progress. Apart from academic, a good number of the old students have been professors strengthening building capacity for the alma mater. In fact, one of them has been a professor since 1998, and Professor Cyril Ayo Ajayi, which we are marking today, although he says retirement from the grapevine. I learned that he's even in another university now, where he could see spend up to 10 years there. So he's tiring, but not tired. We give God the glory for good life. Professor Cyril Ayo Ajayi incidentally happened to be one of the 12 pioneer students that graduated in the year 1974, and including my own self. I vividly recall, among other things, that Cyril or Ayo, now professor to many people, was the youngest in age with petite physique, was certainly one of the greatest endowed academically among the 24 students originally admitted for the course. In fact, 24 of us started, but the Almighty June did a lot to reduce us to only 12 in the second year. And the two subjects that really posed the problems, Mathematics 101 and Technical Drawing, otherwise known as graphics. Ayo was very, very good in mathematics, so he had no problem at all. That was the time of the almighty sessional June examination, with the attendants failing in 2 courses led to repeating the academic year. Only what graduates of the department since 1974 have made exploits in the wider societies. In leadership of the profession, 3 old students have been elected the national president of the institution. Of course, the Dean did name them. Of course, my humble self, Fatokun, was the first. Adeliji and Adeliji, for that matter, is known as body bread. I'm sure we discuss sometimes. I'm sure it might show up maybe later today or tomorrow. And Patola Ajayi, of course, as the Professor Ogunwe has said, our current first vice president of the institution, all things being equal, as they say, because we don't see tomorrow as such. Peteris paribus, he will become the president in 2 years' time by the grace of God. I want you to say amen with me, please. Thank you very much. In the wider society, our own students have established thriving farms. I'm sure some farms have been mentioned, Gile Taiwo, Jiyafati Mileyin, Akerele, and so on, where they provide employment and further contemporary technical training for younger ones. Further still, some of us have become traditional rulers. The guy at Yewa, Ilaro, paramount ruler of Yewa land is our next, and many chiefs, high chiefs, all around various communities in the country. You now have the Otumbas, the Ashiwajus, and so on and so forth. You know, of course, when we are celebrating our achievement in the area of politics, we lag behind. And it's not because we have not tried. As far back as 2004, for the government of Shaw, I want to see, and the importance of this cannot be overemphasized, because when it comes to policy making of politics is, we complain, for example, let's take the case of course, it can be argued that the government is not lacking ex-university dons. So I want to refer to the recent ASU Blue. In a country that is underdeveloped, for the cream of the society, the academics, to be on strike for 8 months, and yet we keep quiet as if things are normal. Things are not normal in this country. The governance in this country requires various university graduates. In fact, if I have my way, I would say that if you don't have PhD, you should not contest for the presidency. We have seen a lot, the most impact of the department and its products. Pray for more good success in the future. At this function, we should equally remember some of our colleagues who have gone to be with their creator. In the first set, pioneer set, we remember Mr. or ESV Adeniyi Oshunkojo, Z Oyebisi Adenu Ili Ajayi, all of the pioneer set, and of course, subsequent set, Adeola Olufun, Biodun Odeleye, I think he approached the first student to make first class. Akin Olawore of data, may their gentle souls continue to rest in perfect peace. Can we please stand up and observe a minute silence in their remembrance? May their gentle souls continue to rest in the bosom of our Lord. Amen. So much for going the memory lane. Excuse me. The next issue, so this topic of today revolves our volunteer service. In fact, as a matter of fact, topic expanding the frontier valuation service case of fixed asset management. Two critical segments of the corporate world in Nigeria are the stock exchange, hotel limited liability companies, and the government entities. The consolidated banks and other financial institutions are categorized in the quoted or limited liability companies, while the federal, state, and local governments, with their parastatals and MDAs, constitute the public governance organization. And with my little experience in the field, I want to assert that the bulk of the demand for valuation services in the country comes from these two major segments of the corporate world. Okay, I've mentioned how in 1993, I talked about facility management, which is now a major being provided. So as prepared to look into our, where can we tentacles to really pay attention to a growing corporate world. The trend is corporate entities, the procurement of with emerging set of fixed asset management in the form of a package for a professional assignment to be executed, preferably by a single professional consultant, which could be more cost prudent to them. Because in the corporate world, at least the quoted liability company segment, they watch their cost. They are very cost conscious because profit is the name of the game. Of course, government is another thing. So in an attempt to minimize their costs, what a consultant can do, the number of assignments that a consultant can do, they will not want to package for 2 or 3 consultants. So this is the underpinning of this paper. We need to take the trend seriously, given the importance of the corporate world to the growth of the estate surveying profession. The current reality is that the bulk of the demand for valuation of services, as I've said, come from this source. Of course, on this platform, I think I should try to express on behalf of the profession and the banks. You see, we complain about encroachment on our profession. For example, we have a problem with engineers who suddenly woke up to machinery. We want to give our banks who duly recognize it as the source of valuation of all assets. So it is very rare to get a registered bank to say you want to go to any other professional valuation service other than the SS of yours. We thank God. Currently, there are about 155. I think we showed that list before. 154 numbers. Look, companies with a total equity market trillion naira changes daily and daily trading, and this should lead to subtraction. A significant portion of the equity sum with equity large borrowed capital is invested and buildings, machinery, furniture, vehicles of assorted brands, contemporary ICT facilities, and so on and so forth. These fixed assets, which contribute to the production of diverse industrial, commercial, and personal goods and services by quoted companies to meet the needs of corporate and individual citizens in and off locations around us. Estate surveyors and valuers are called upon from time to time to professionally determine the money governments of the 1970s. The awareness of public institutions, that means state and federal governments, mainly, and their starters. What we are saying that since these programs of privatization, the awareness of public institutions in patronizing professional property and asset valuation services has been growing. A new major purpose for which the federal and state governments demand for valuation is that of IPSAS. I believe we are conversant with this. The International Public Sector Accounting System, this accounting board, they normally specify the basis of valuation for assets to be included in balance sheet. For years, we have attempted to persuade them that the fair market value of the assets of God is the correct basis, but they stuck to what we call historical cost convention. In other words, if you buy a computer today, that cost will be depreciated if it starts from the 10 years until you have zero value in the book, in the financial books. But we believe that given price which valuers do interpret to constitute value, to factor in value, you find that we are not on the same page. But thank God, they have now changed that the basis of capturing the value of public buildings, civil works, like roads, like public buildings, government sectors, all civil works should now be on fair market value. That is the IPSAS value. So, I mean, this is a good thing, and I believe it has been created just for our police all over the places. The Lagos State has commissioned some years ago 2 or 3 years ago, valuers to value all the some assets, not every one, some assets of the state government, in order to capture it on a IFSAS basis. And the federal government is currently doing the same. So we hope that the gospel will spread. That is the connection, fixed asset valuation. And those people produce this fixed asset valuation, our nexus with them is very, very important. And we should be careful or follow intensely their practice. The practice is now the commission valuation with some package of fixed asset management services. The IT people have been taking advantage of this, and I believe that we should be on the driving seat. This is the thrust of this paper. Now let us look briefly at fixed asset management practice. The practice of fixed asset management essentially involves tracking, monitoring, and maintaining the physical infrastructure of a business, public, and service organization. Fixed assets usually appear in the physical form. I think we can skip this, please. We all know what fixed assets are. When you take the land and building we are particular with, you type of plant and machinery, you talk of vehicles, office equipment, industrial equipment, and currently ICT facilities is constituting a very important segment of the plant and of fixed assets, and we should really follow the trend. Of course, I note here that while as the fixed assets are supposed to be a physical form, there is a particular type of asset, like the copyright, although it's not in physical form, but is accounting-wise regarded as fixed asset. I think we just note the observation. Now, let's now look at the trending fixed asset management service, which is the focus of this paper. The focus of this paper is on emerging fixed asset management services, which are now packaged with asset valuation as a professional assignment. These novel services or tools include the following, at least some of this is by no means exhaustive. Barcoding, digital fixed assets, verification and inventory management, asset tracking, asset life cycle management. These are just for the purpose to illustrate for the purpose of this paper. Smart industry names are emerging for these fixed management services, such as property tech, asset tech, and so on, similar to what we have in the financial and banking sector, fintech. I think this is the trend. A common feature of these tools, or these fixed asset management tools, is that they are driven by the development of ICT and extensively make use and process data and information periodically generated on the fixed asset. In fact, the trending services are otherwise known as management by software approach. It is rationalized that the perception in the corporate world is that the valuation report of the estate surveyor and valuer generates better and most of the data and information utilized by this trending tools. Hence, the imperative to package valuation service with the procurement of the trending fixed asset management tools. Let's briefly track the trend in the public sector. I have particularly taken keen interest in it over the 10 years. In the last 10 years, one can note that the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, the controller of all the federal airports in Nigeria, advertised in the Tender Journal in the year 2012 for consultants for fixed asset valuation, verification, and management with barcoding as additional item to be executed by a single consultant. In 2017, an agency of federal government, MAIDEN, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, did the same for asset valuation, barcoding, inventories management as a package. In 2014, Federal Capital Territory Administration in Abuja appointed consultants for property valuation register for one of its area councils as a pilot exercise in 2019, which means it will still go around. I think the name of that area council is Kuje. There are six others. There are six others. So maybe we should be on the lookout to further the exercise. In 2019, Nigeria Communication Commission, SEC, commissioned a consultant to establish digital fixed asset register, while in 2020, News Agency of Nigeria, NAN, did the same. I have copies of the advertisement of all these agencies of federal government, which happen to be part of the public sector of the corporate world. All this claim on two of them, which encompass all the other features. And here we can see how we are relevant in this area. That's one, barcoding and digital fixed asset register. We briefly explained the application of two of these emerging tools to indicate the nexus with the challenges to be confronted by the estate surveying and valuation practice. Barcoding. Essentially, barcoding is a computer-aided tagging of assets. If you look back, you know that tagging is an old exercise. We have not shown interest as a profession. I know that accountants do regularly do this. In fact, in any major office of a private sector company, you find what they call board, asset list board. They have a paste board, they have a board. They paste the list of assets in that office. That is the genesis of that particular exercise. But with the advent of IT technology, things have changed. Essentially, barcoding is a computer-aided tagging of assets with all the attendant better security benefits and possibilities offered. By contemporary information communication technology, asset tagging is the process of affixing tags or labels to assets to identify each one individually. The barcode tags, my friend, can you put 11? Can you put 11? I think it will soon show you what is simple. That's the barcode. You see, as simple as it is, a lot of data is encoded. So we'll explain it, just leave it like that. Asset tagging is the process of affixing tags or labels to assets to identify each one individually. The barcode tags can be assigned to both fixed and movable assets that are spread across multiple locations, enabling businesses and organizations to achieve holistic view of their own assets. In keeping with modern trend in the corporate world, barcode tagging is preferred to the analog tag, which is usually inscribed, as I was trying to explain, on each asset with reference composed of a limited data, usually asset type, maybe plant and machinery, PL name, then a user department, and maybe a serial number. But barcoding has taken this the process of identity of assets further. Barcode tagging lays the foundation for being able to track fixed assets in real time. Developed in the 1990s, in the 1960s, in an industrial context, in fact, although the use is now ubiquitous, it's now everywhere, but it developed in industrial context. A barcode is an optical machine readable representation of data, and usually describes something about the object that carries the barcode generally. There are numerous types of barcode symbologies, each having their own unique characteristics and features, including dimensions. Of course, the simple terminology of the barcode belongs to a generic group, of course, I think we can spare this, known as AIDC. That is automatic identity data capture. There are many subsets within that topologies which are applicable to different things. Its topology belongs to a generic group known as AIDC, whose operating methodologies involve automatically identifying the objects, collecting data about them, and entering them directly into the computer systems without human intervention. Other similar or competing asset tagging devices with AIDC group include RF, the radio frequency identification, RFID, or QR codes, GPS. I think what I just said, barcoding is just one of the methodologies of tagging assets. There are other more technically involved ones, but later on we see that barcoding has comparative advantages over others. Barcodes usually are used in conjunction with databases. The original main intention is to encode information in tight place. It is also a very simple method of data entry and data collection, now widely used in the retail, health, military, and transport industries. Different type of barcoding in terms of texture are available. As I've said, this the one we are showing. I think on the board. Who the barcode something, and what the other one? No, the 11B. Okay, just to explain simply, initially it came in form of a bar, a linear bar, and these bars specify certain things. But later, in fact, this one with straight bars is called one-dimension barcode. But later on, two-dimension barcodes came along, and that's the second one. So in fact, they are no longer in form of bars. They could be in form of dots in various shapes, like hexagon, octagon, rectangular. That's the benefit of the technology. So at times when you see these things now, it could be a load of information we can fill in a room. That's the benefit of technology. I think we are done with that. Supposed to say that, let's look at the financial prospects of these courses. Now, IT people are making money, although initially in this country, but the US in other countries. Asset tagging opens up a wide range of data tracking possibilities, particularly when used along a computerized system, such as asset tracking system, with a projected estimated global market share of $36.3 billion in the year 2025. In fact, in advanced countries, they are very, they are bothered with statistics. What is the prospect of this particular service? What is expected projected revenue? So they are saying here that in the US, at least the market share for barcoding alone, that the year 2025 is $36 billion. The completion of asset tagging with tracking is rapidly becoming significant. Indeed, corporate entities, particularly those with sizable movable assets, are beginning to understand how essential and beneficial asset tracking will be. Of course, again, especially for companies with a lot of usable, movable assets, like airports, for example. When you want to travel, you find a lot of movable assets in the airport, apart from the building. Of course, maybe a staff come to you to collect your bag with a trolley. And when you get inside, you want to sit down, and then serving on the place. There's what we call food carts. So a lot of movable assets. In fact, the statistics here is that Air Canada annually, by tracking through barcoding, usually saved about $1 billion annually. So these are the advantages of barcoding form of tagging assets, and which assets of yours should buy into. The second type of this service, fixed asset management service, is the digital asset register. Of course, you will know that ordinarily a business concern, any organization should keep register of its assets. And of course, again, maybe because I'm making money from valuation, we don't pay attention to this preparation of asset register. Our firm happened to be involved in the one for the Federal Capital Territory Administration in Abuja. What is it? You do valuation. All what you have done is generation of data. What is the size of the property, floor space? What are the attachment, plant, and machinery? These are just what you record in an orderly manner in service fixed asset register. This is what it's all about, and it's very useful for modern management. But again, IT has intervened to push the frontier to the digital level. So a digital fixed asset register is the ultimate of contemporary asset management system. A fixed asset register is simply a detailed list of all fixed assets which are owned by corporate entity. Its main purpose is to enable an organization to accurately record and maintain both technical, financial, and other non-financial information pertaining to each asset, and to easily identify and verify an asset when required. That's simply the purpose. When digitalized, the quantum of asset data and information that can be inputted and stored in one centralized system for processing is endless and can be accessed by staff and stakeholders as well through the use of, I'm sure those of us who are conversant with IT, as well computer, cloud-based stream. I'm sure there are different types too. but the computer cloud-based tool is more appropriate. Among the routine benefits of a digitalized fixed asset register to an organization, you can name them. We have about, which are by no means exhaustive. Ensuring that the balance sheet reflects the accurate fixed asset value, providing an accurate reference to ensure that the appropriate level of insurance is in place, eliminating ghost assets, which in turn avoids the overpayment of insurance problems. I think this is simply that you don't pay premium what you don't have. But we have heard of a ghost personnel which dotted all over the places in Nigeria. There are ghost assets too. Some company assets will have been stolen, especially movable ones, and yet the organization still pay premium on this, which is a loss. So with the availability of fixed assets ledger, this deficiency will be corrected. Facilitating a quick and easy audit and verification process. Simplify month and year-end processes when asset data is up to date. Improving asset utilization across the corporate entities and avoids duplication of asset purchases. Then enhancing better visibility of all assets through tracking solutions such as asset barcoding tagging. Those are some of the assets, and I'm sure you can think of more benefits. With an overview of two representative tools rendered briefly above, the basic steps to actualize these services are highlighted as follows. So these are the basic steps you need to take. And when you look at these steps, you find that indirectly valuers have been taking it. When you go for property inspection or asset inspection, indirectly you have you have inspected, you have listed out assets, you have reconciled assets, and you have classified assets. These are some of the important steps there. So let's just briefly point to asset identification, verification, and data capture, proper asset reconciliation and classification, compilation of updated inventories, assigning a unique identification ID number to each item of asset, choosing a suitable tag labels for this digital fixed asset goes further in terms of processes than barcoding. So what you are, this is what is required in barcoding, because you cannot avoid barcoding in digitalizing. Where are we? Choosing a suitable tag label, creating an asset profile, and generating the desired barcodes, affixing tag labels, then digitalizing. This is the realm of the IT experts. But we have had the trust of this paper is that we don't have to bother with all this. We should still ask IT to do its job, but you should know about it. That's how you can lead a consortium handling this package. You must know a bit about that. Just like project management, mostly architects and at times other professionals. Not that we know everything, but you know the various steps to be involved before the project is completed. That is all we are advocating for in this sense. So when digitalizing and creating the fixed asset register, inputting the desired range of asset data, then typical usable life of that is part of the data to be inputted. If we come to that. Installing appropriate operation of all this is a very major aspect. Operation or management asset software, because these tools operate by what software. There are different types. You don't have to, it's just like your valuation table. You know how valuation table is derived. Present value, here YP, but here is a valuation table, which allows you, when you just want to look at your YP, you just open the appropriate section, you pinpoint. So it assists you not to go the whole of developing your formula for YP from the scratch. So these are some of the functions that management asset software performs. So when we hear it, we should not be scared. Now let us talk briefly about asset management software. It is an understatement to assert that the exploit of a fixed asset management system depends on the depth and breadth of its software. Smaller corporate entity may benefit from a simple computerization maintenance management system with its automation software, assisting with scheduling, management, and reporting of maintenance activities. Its features will include handling workflows, resourcing and routing, operating and repair guidance, and reporting and auditing. For large operations, an enterprise asset management software provides a central platform for managing all the fixed assets. It integrates assets from across the asset lifecycle: acquisition, operation, maintenance, depreciation, and renewal or replacement. Variety of softwares is now available, with some of them have complete view and gain insight into their complex and asset environment and better information to manage the asset health. Two of the widely used asset management software are the Internet of Things. This is the name. This is the trade name, Internet of Things. And some of us, our colleagues here, who are also, there are some of us who are very good in the IT. You only need to discuss with them, or you have a problem, they can put you through. But all we are doing is just to encourage our interest in these areas. So another software which is currently popular, they call it AI. It is when you are into these areas that you can easily distinguish which software does what. Now, the fixed asset management tools and valuation report. This is where I believe should interest us. I've proposed and I believe the corporate world in packaging valuation with these services believe that the data generated by the surveyors should be sought after. So this is where we have the edge. So let me briefly deal with this area. The various fixed asset management tools, including barcoding and digital fixed asset register, depend on asset data and information to accomplish their device objectives. Most assets commonly utilized include the asset of page 16. Let me put it on the board. So these are common data we normally, you see it on the board here, we normally factor out when we do valuation. I mean, there's no way you will not identify location in details, and depending on the tool, you know the extent to go. Brief identity, that's for land and buildings. Brief identity description. Then user's identity. Date of construction or acquisition. Accommodation floor space. Construction details. 7, historical cost, where it is important or where it is available. Condition, of course, the physical condition. Of course, when you talk of condition here, you must factor in obsolescence, economic obsolescence, and technological obsolescence. I'm sure you know what I mean. Whether it's in vogue, is it currently economical? These are factors, these are things you want to find out before you arrive at your value, estimated value of a asset or property. Then, of course, now for this purpose, current value, that's your opinion. It's a data. Then depreciation, depending on the method you adopt, whether it is replacement cost or investment approach. Then maintenance profile, of course, you are supposed to find out, is there be regular maintenance activities on this asset? You want to gauge how the asset has been profiled. Then, of course, the unexpired useful life. Of course, if it is land and building, that will affect your, if you are dealing with investment method, that will affect your all risk adjusted yield. Of course, because one whose useful life is shorter than a longer one, you know how you play with your adjusted, this adjusted yield, of course, which our professors will now say that there are better techniques than the already used. I'm aware of the various criticism, but we need more interactions of the professors, how we can apply the, of course, I am conversant with repeated yield, equivalent yield, and so on and so forth. But in a short, I mean, the tools will dictate what data you still want to generate more than the basic average one. Of course, for the plant and machinery, you can see it's almost the same as a land and building, but of course, you have to take number 2, serial number, model capacity, then automation process is very, very important now. Most plant and machinery that you come across for valuation now, most of them are now very automated. Even when you get to petrol station, you discover that the automation process is substantial now. You must be able to capture that data, and of course, the historical cost and all the when you talk of unexpired useful life, of course, you are talking about look at the manual, manufacturer's manual. You want to check what is the lifespan, how many years have they used the machine. This will inform you before you get to get your data. An average valuation report will provide and contain the above itemized variable asset data and information depending on the need and purpose of valuation. The estate surveyors and valuer can still generate more data. For example, other types of value can be additionally provided, such as insurance and rateable values, while the condition and the distribution data variables can be broken down into to reflect physical wear and tear, economic and technological obsolescence. In terms of current capacity and size of an asset, particularly land and buildings, the gross and usable value, in bracket lettable floor space, as well as the accommodation units provided for commercial and owner-occupier development, all can be generated to enhance fixed asset management system. From our survey of the different professional outputs, in preparing this paper, I actually went across to look at the various technical reports of various professionals in the built environment, be it town planning, be it civil engineer, be it quantity surveyor. I tried to see whether the claim we are not overrating ourselves, because you must start from the point of view of knowledge. So from our survey of the different professional output reports and documents, there is no one that periodically generates comprehensive data and relevant information on fixed assets as valuation report of the estate surveyor and valuer. While the manufacturer's manual produce original copious data and information on a piece of a plant and machinery asset, such data is static and limited to the time of fabrication and installation. It is the provisional valuation that is dynamic and captures the effects of passage of time on the asset, reflecting the usage, effect of environment, maintenance, and economy over time. The same is largely true of a real estate development asset. The approved building plan prepared by an architect and engineer will reflect, among other things, the ideal specification of construction materials and finishing. But it is the valuer's report that will authentically capture the as-built status of the real estate aspect, reflecting alterations, quality of work done, and decoration over time. I hope there are no architects or engineers in the room who want to contest that assertion. Further still, a major professional outside the built environment that has some role to play in fixed asset management is the accounting discipline, which lays down the principle of fixed asset classification for the preparation of balance sheet. However, it is worthy of note that the historical cost accounting basis, I think we've mentioned this, involving annual fixed asset depreciation has now changed to current cost of fair market value concept, which is equivalent to the age-old market value approach of the estate surveyor and of the valuer. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, IFSAS has further now extended, that's the International Public Sector Accounting System Board, has now extended the public fixed assets or infrastructure, has already extended that public assets should now be captured on current inventory and fair market basis in the official financial books, including balance sheet of the government. Of course, another aspect where the accountants are involved is on revaluation. On revaluation, increase in the value of a fixed asset as a result of value appreciation is credited to the special valuation account. The increase in depreciation arising out of the valuation of assets is to be debited to the valuation reserve and the normal depreciation to the profit and loss account. Yes, I must still say that there is still prejudice. Surplus as a result of revaluation of assets is still not allowed to be credited to capital reserve, which is a general reserve from which dividend can be paid. The accountants, they are still suspicious, they are still cautious. Although I know that in some countries, some percentage have been allowed for, but I'm not sure that whether in this country it is still to the valuation account, and you can only debit the valuation account with all sorts of things like depreciation occasioned by the revaluation. So it does not really affect the financial health of the company. So the pertinent point is that accountant does not generate asset data and is not obligated to produce structured asset professional report unlike the estate surveyor and valuer. The valuation profession should therefore effectively appropriate the technical comparative advantage to position itself in the driving seat of the expansion of fixed asset management services in the country. That is the main point we are making. We have comparative advantage over other professionals before we begin to complain about IT taking over the job. I think we should do something. We should act seriously. And as I said, we should do this on the basis of knowledge and competence, not just want to grandstand that this aspect should be known to us. So my concern for complacency of the part of the profession, let me make some people there. The point of concern in this paper is that with growing internet penetration in the corporate world, the trend of packaging valuation with fixed asset management services for procurement will be on the ascending order. The challenge of asset data in the desired form will certainly cause the procurement package to increase. In other words, with the knowledge that it is only the essence of work that can generate the best mode of data, this trend will continue. It is my personal conviction. The essence surveyors and value appreciation should be proactive, not only to be appendage or subordinate to the IT professionals who rightly dominate the provision of fixed asset management funds currently. In fact, procurement and provision of fixed asset management services with Nigeria, within the Nigerian private sector, is now quite appreciable and growing. A major provider of farm services in the country, close to Shvato and Co. That's our company. We have partnered them on the valuation of farm because the fixed management asset services very substantial, and we believe that you don't claim, you don't do what you don't know. So you just have to bring them in to do that aspect. So then they did. So we are very close to this farm, and we know that if we are not careful, because of the how lucrative if it's even lucrative than the evaluation aspect. So I believe that that will attract odium from them towards our preservation, but we should not mind. So a major farm services in the country, close to us, and okay, if what I've done, I've looked at this, the last on page 20. So we look at his corporate profile over the last 10 years. So we discovered that there has been over 297 patronages from blue chip companies, which and in fact what they have done here is the various sector of patronage. Number of clients they have done work with, and of course, what we didn't put here is that the income received for each briefs, but we are privileged to be provided with that. The gross professional fees from all this something was in the region of 1.2 billion, and the danger is that now. The danger now is that the danger is now that most of them are listing valuation as part of the services they provide. So when this situation arises, they will just go and bring one value that they can easily negotiate with, and maybe if it's factory sum. They will carry away the bigger part of the remuneration. So this is what we should guide against. We should be the one that if there is a consortium, we should lead the consortium. We should have largely compared by the challenge of authentic fixed asset data and information. Some of the clients were forced to commission asset valuation service along with the fixed asset management assignment. Already, some of the IT firms have been listing asset valuation as one of the services they render in their corporate profiles. In the event of a consortium, the valuation profession should lead such arrangement. If we are complacent, we will soon be complaining of serious encroachment by the IT professionals, just as we complain against engineers for valuation of plant and machinery. Once beaten, twice shy. I have a word. They say sufficient otherwise. So, gentlemen and ladies, we have come to almost to the end of the paper. I believe the point has been made. I have some suggestions here. Please put a suggestion. Page 9, 10, page 21. So I'm sure you two, as we are going on, you two have your own suggestions. How we can really blend into these services. First, now, these are by no means suggestions. While it is legitimate and desirable for the valuation profession to push for relevance on the new frontier of fixed asset management services, it should be done on the basis of knowledge and competence. The following suggestions, which are by no means exhaustive, are made towards achieving the knowledge and competence goals. In valuation, purpose determines the basis and methods. The first step, which I believe should be the first step, is to conceptualize. The profession should conceptualize that fixed asset management is a major purpose, novel purpose of valuation, where the point estimate, that's the opinion of value itself, and the appropriate determining factors are all possible data and information to be utilized by the digitalized, preferably cloud-based softwares too. Thus, the valuation opinion is as important as presentation of the supporting data. 2, a good appreciation of the objectives of the client organization for fixed asset management services by the valuation professional who will enhance his or generation of the desired data. But if you must make it a point of view to know what is the end product, what is the end objective, which type of facility FM services they want to procure, what do they really want to achieve. Down, we state that the depth and option of fixed asset management system will depend on the goals to be accomplished by the second page, 22. Corporate entity, that's the objective. In practice, and from experience, we know multiple goals. A company may have multiple goals when it comes to managing fixed assets. For example, we lead them there, optimizing the useful life of assets. Is that their major concern? Reducing maintenance costs and unplanned downtime, real-time tracking, monitoring equipment across multiple sites and locations, improving production efficiency, increasing operational output. This could be the objective. It is for a surveyor who want to work productively in this sector to pry into the goals and see how relevant the data he wants to produce will be of relevance. This is the point we are making. Then see, with an average IT support section, it's fortunate up to now, and this at institution level. In fact, when I was the president in the year late, that's 2006 to 2010. That's my tenure period. at the promptings of the registration board, they were trying to find out which farms have befitting IT section. Because when you know what you do today, you cannot say you will not make progress on ICT equipment. So it's very, very important. So we are saying that with an hybrid IT, that I should make that point. In fact, it will dishearten me that very few of our farms have what you can say state-of-the-art IT section. We don't say you should go and bring a top IT qualified personnel, but there are middle level, that you can use to achieve your objectives. So what we are assuming that with an average IT support section, start with middle level computer professional, a firm of essence surveyors and valuers should be able to go beyond the valuation aspect to undertake barcode tagging of fixed assets. This simply involves generating barcodes, printing of the tagging labels, and fixing them to every identified asset. The tagging activities are of course preceded by asset presentation, reconciliation, proper asset classification. These are assets we have alluded to earlier on. G, number 4, the asset surveyor and valuer is surely not an IT top professional who should design and engineer appropriate software for a fixed asset management system. No, we are not conversing with that. However, the valuation professional aspiring to expand services to this frontier should be knowledgeable and smart enough to positively understand the client's operations with their existing and proposed workflows. Because these two go together. This is not a forum to dwell on this, but it's very, very important. The operations and the workflows of that particular company is very, very important. The evaluation the evaluation professional should also be familiar with various software options in the fixed asset market in order to effectively guide generation and presentation of asset data and information. Further C, he should be committed to interacting with implementation teams. Normally, when you want to install software, they normally constitute implementation teams. They will look into various aspects. The infrastructure they have, existing infrastructure they have, permit, carry it, and all those of things. So it is advisable for a valuer to interact with them, and you gain a lot inside by interacting to them, and that so that the expectation of clients, the comments can be met. Finally, this relates to our professors in the house. The academic education of asset management students should be deepened by including some appreciation of fixed asset management software, preferably at 300 to 400 levels. That's why I'm sure you have your own suggestion too. Maybe at appropriate time, we go together and put us together how best to approach the issue. In conclusion, we conclude this lecture by congratulating Professor Cyril Ayuajayi, my classmate, on his retirement after 24 years as a pioneering old student teacher. He may not, I'm sure he will agree, because I track his record. And the reason is that our Professor Ayuajayi did accept to teach in the department. At the time, some of us ran away because of the allure of the private parties. In fact, tomorrow, if I always meet my husband whenever I meet Professor Wahab, because Mr. Tambo and myself, I'm sure if he has forgiven us, maybe some years back, when we begin to interact, he will do birthday, he will launch book that at least were useful in some areas. So Professor Ajayi should be congratulated. He took up teaching at the time most of us ran away. Yes, in the department, Professor Ajayi came in as a student at the tender age of 18. How time flies, he's now 70. He's now 70 of age. Glory be to God for sparing his life in a country where the average life expectancy is barely we are doing our time. Finally, the department has no doubt made a good stride in the half century of existence. We pray for better days ahead. The alumni reunion of this nature should be encouraged more frequently with the attendant benefits. Suffice to appreciate the organizers of this 2022 annual reunion. No, we should congratulate our professors, Nahasi with Mr. Bigi Adesanya, who happens to be the chairman or president of EMDA. I must say that some of us are not happy because Professor Ogumba made reference that some people argue that this is not the first reunion. In the past, honestly, I happen to be the first president with Bernard Oshadia as the secretary. I know that we are really active there. I want to thank those who have made their mark in the department, with Alonge, who was a benchmark there. Olawore, may God continue, may his soul continue to rest in peace. We miss him. But I know that with the interest shown by the professors and the teaching staff now, I think, because in those days, we were really begging to be followed along with some activities. But now we thank God. And I want to discuss with the head of the department and the dean, Professor Ogumba, where others can come in individually, because we are happy to claim that we are the first set. But I've not heard the name of some of us at the first set there. And I know that there are some who can really do something. It is a very good platform and opportunity. We thank you for the opportunity given me to run this lecture. Thank you very much. Long live OAU, EMDA, and the thank you.
Please, before we go to the next part of the program, I want to give us an information. Please listen. Before we go to the next part, we are still going to appreciate Chief Dosun Fatokun properly. Yes, but before then, please, a big fish is on his way. A very big, in fact, shark is on his way. And I want us to do this. Please, before he comes, how many of us know the name of the president of Naives? President of Naives. Do you know his name? Please, when he comes, when I introduce him, I want us to give him a rousing welcome. And I will ask you if you know his name. You say, yes, what's his name? Then you tell me his name. His name, I will give you expo. His name is ESV John Bull Amayebo. What did I call his name? ESV John Bull Amayebo. He he has taken off his money. He's coming from a very far distance just for this program. So once he lands, he's the president of what is Naives? That's the president. He's coming with his entourage. He's coming with some people. But the emphasis is on the president. His name is ESV Jumble Amayebo. Okay? All right. Please.
Okay, thank you very much. We give a round of applause to Chief Dostu Fatokun. Sorry, can we just give him a round of applause for that wonderful presentation? Thank you very much. We want to go into something very quickly, and I will be inviting Professor Bello to come and help us thank Chief Dostu Fatokun for that beautiful presentation. And he will be handling the Q&A session, question and answer session. Let us ask everything. This is alumni meeting. I call it Village Square. You're free to ask every question and you'll be attended to. Thank you very much. Sir, over to you, sir.
Maybe it's better we have something spectacular for our department, like Great Ife. So, Great M-Site. Well, what a very tough job given to me to do. To appreciate our elder professional, my most senior colleague. Is it because of his experience? Is it because of even the lecture he has given here? It is a very, very difficult task. But something comes to my mind. I remember my grandmother told me that he who receives a benefit with gratitude has just repaid the first installment on the debt. We owe him a lot. And then I am saying we are paying the first installment by saying thank you. We thank you enormously, our erudite, I believe you say erudite, we put professor. Can we put professional? Erudite professional. So we thank you for that. Even before, I was thinking that property management or the like as becoming, what they call it, a beating phenomenon. That what do you want to do in that area? We started coming together. Let us explore intellectual property valuation and management. That was what we were thinking. Until Chief Dostu Fatokun just came up that no, we have not done yet with fixed asset management. Some of you were talking about facility management. He's now telling us fixed asset management. Another round of applause for him. You know, I remember something. I remember Genesis chapter 2 verse 15, if I can quote it. You know, Genesis chapter 2 verse 15, when he just mentioned facility and fixed asset management. And I say, anything instituted by God will continue to be a mystery in the affairs of men. Our profession is the only profession instituted by God. Go and look at it. Genesis chapter 2, verse 2, verse 15. He gave us the whole heart that we should go and tender, take care, manage it. Then, that means it's going to be as complex as the nature of God. And that is why when they call you jacks of all trade, agree, but you are master of all trade. Another round of applause for our lecturer this afternoon. The question and answer session. We are going to entertain those people here as well as online people. For us here, you can raise your physical eye. I will be able to see you, recognize you, and then you ask your question. For those online, you raise your digital hand. We will see you and call you and give you the time to ask your question. For the physically present person here, you have a question. Let's start from this row. Just raise up your hand there if you have a question. This row, Abi column, any question? Here, any question? I remember in those days, if a lecture is given and you are asked to ask a question and there is no question, there are two scenarios. It's either you totally understand the question, and the lecture, there is no need for question, or you do not understand. So there is tendency for me to say that Chief Dosufato is another years ahead of us here. Any question? Those online. Question from online participants. Somebody, let me. Yes, you are on the floor. Olaguju, you can ask your question. Unmute yourself, ask your question.
It's not a question, there's background noise, sir. Background noise, sir. Can the person mute himself, sir?
While we are waiting for our online participants, Professor Ogumba has one or two things to say. 2 seconds or 2 minutes.
Okay, we'll add the 2 minutes and 2 seconds. Okay. I want to appreciate Chief Dosufato for, like Professor Bello has said, the lecture is ahead of our time. And thank you very much, sir. I just want to say that what Prof. Okay, well, I've made him Prof. Prof. Dosufato has said is very in advance of its time. And it's something that we in the academia can begin to take up as a research area. In the UK now, the most topical thing, the most topical research area is in what is called property technology, or prop tech, which basically involves, just like Professor Dosufato has said, the application of IT, information technology, to real estate. Sincerely speaking, it is the most topical area in the UK now. Anybody that wants to get research funding has to go into prop tech. And therefore, I really appreciate our speaker of today. Thank you, sir, for drawing attention to this very viable research area. I was looking at recipients of, in the UK, they have this research fund for all universities in the UK. And is it ETF? I don't remember the exact name they call it. And I looked at the recipients of the research grants for real estate under it. Every single one of them worked on property technology, the application of industrial information technology to real estate. So it is an area that we in the academia must definitely go into. And personally, I really want to dabble into it. And let me again appreciate, I've given you, the faculty has given you professorship, sir. So, thank you very much. We appreciate you and congratulate you for a very, very advanced lecture. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Olagujo, you can still try at your own hand there. We are listening.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir. And Prof, good afternoon and congratulations on your retirement, sir. I just want to appreciate the lecturer, our father, for the lecture. It really helped. And also to advise the department on how some of the young some of the young professionals in the field of estate management can also tap into the knowledge of our fathers, like mentoring scheme or mentoring program for some of us who are still young, who still need to be under tutelage and mentorship. So as an alumni association, I believe if there's opportunity, some of us will really tap into it. Professor Ajayi, thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to celebrate your retirement with you. And I pray God will continue to give you long life and prosperity, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Olagujo Adesina. We may want to know where you are working and all the rest so that we know each other better. Thank you. Tell us.
Okay, my name is Olagunju Adesina. Presently working with GIJ Partner. I'm an associate partner in the firm, sir.
Thank you. So, any question again? He has inspired us. We can ask questions. Yeah. Are you? Yeah. Ladies, let your voice be heard. For students, yes, students. Let's allow students to talk now. Question from students. You've heard about it. You've heard about property management, facility management. It's talking about fixed asset management. You can ask questions. While we are looking at our screen, if there's anybody from the online community. Well, please, you can just, if you are here, you are online, please mute your phone. Online, if you are not talking, please mute your phone to prevent the interference. That's why we are having noise. Please. So, Chief Sir, there is only one question. Maybe you'll be able to address that question before we move to the next agenda on the program. Thank you, sir. Chief, I hope you are still in the house. I hope Chief is still in the house. That was my saying. Chief is still online. He's still online. Chief, we are waiting for your response to the question. While we are waiting for Chiefs to be in the house, maybe the event manager. Is the event manager now, not estate manager here now.
Please, can we put our hands together for Professor Bello, all the way from Futa, Nigeria. Thank you very much. Thank you for beautiful anchorage. We are grateful. We have some of our alumni that came in. Big, big fishes. We have in the house Dr. Tope Babade, 1979-84 set. Please put your hands together for him. Thank you for coming, sir. And then we have ESV Awofisayo Olasupo. See around? They are coming back. Then we have Fajumo Adejumoke. And then we have part of the big fishes coming. We have the Ondo State Naives Chairman. We have the Osun State Naives Chairman. They are all coming. They are coming with the Naives President. So don't miss out. Then we have in the house ESV. This is a big fish that works with glue. Eh? His name is ESV Dotun Olutola. Can you put your hands together for him? You're welcome. Thank you for coming. He graduated from this department, but he's catching the big fishes with glue now. So, okay, yeah, that's true. That's true. We also have in the house, you know, our academic father also has biological children. So his biological children are here. But before then, I want to ask this question. If somebody starts a program in a particular department, but did not complete because he got a very fantastic job and he has to leave, what do we call the person? Is he a complete alumni or we just say alum? So we have in the house Tosin Ajayi. Put your hands together for him. One of the biological children of Professor Ajayi. We also have Oluwatobiloba Ajayi. Put your hands together for him. Thank you for coming. We are still expecting Sheon Ajayi all the way from UK. Wow, beautiful. Okay. I am not amebo, but I am not amebo, but I have to do amebo today. For the first time in my life, I will do amebo only today. I have never done amebo before. But it's not my fault because an amebo told me, so I have to do the amebo. So, one of our daddy's biological children, in the person of Oluwatobi Ajayi, is getting married. Is getting married this year on the 17th of December to Sheon Ajayi Tobi. Mrs. Sheon Ajayi Tobi. So you can see them. Are they not beautiful? If there is anybody here who has any reason why these two should not be joined together in holy matrimony, can you raise up your hand or forever keep quiet? So you're welcome. God will bless that day, keep the day, and provide abundantly in Jesus' name. So, we are moving fast. It has been a huge, huge success. But we are still waiting for the president. It's been a huge sacrifice on his part to have decided to come. So he's on his way. He's already in Ife. He's coming with his entourage. So we pray they get here on time. And once they come, we do one or two things, and then we'll now move to the evening section. The evening section is the suya night and networking. That will take place at the staff club. The staff club is like opposite or adjacent the conference center. If you know the conference center, like opposite it, you go up a bit and then you see a corner. That's where the staff club is. So we'll be expecting every one of us, but the student can go and read. We don't want to bother you. You can go and read. Eh? Because the truth is that I saw some students, they were carrying babies, and I was asking them, what's the name of this beautiful baby? And they said, so we thank God they called off the strike. Most of these children were premature because it's not up to 9 months. I mean, the thing have started a month before us to. So we are supposed to have presentation of our awards. The awards are here, but let's hold on a little bit. If possible, the presentation of awards will be done at the Suya night. So we can skip that aspect and then go into the interactive section. The role of alumni in institutional development. The role of alumni in institutional development. In most schools, what the development you see in most schools are actually done by the alumni. And someone was telling me that the BOC and Ajose is being renovated by an anonymous of the university to the tune of 500 million boosts. By one individual. He is doing that for the university. To the tune of how much? 500 million naira. So you can see the role of the alumni in institutional development. That is one of the reasons we are having, this kind of alumni reunion. I will not blame those who are joining through the Zoom or online platform. Most of them are very busy, but most of them would have still loved to come, but because of the insecurity, most of them confide to us that the insecurity is becoming seriously alarming. Just along and most of them would have gone through Lagos Ibadan. In less than a month, there has been 3 solid kidnapping. No, that is the reality. Even yesterday. Yes, even yesterday there was kidnapping along that corridor. So you won't blame them for joining through the Zoom. We understand. But we pray that God will help us solve this insecurity problem in this country. If not, this place wouldn't have contained us. Because we sent out Google form for people to fill and indicate whether they will be coming or not. And a lot of them indicated that they would love to come. But unfortunately, they are not here today. So we want to have a kind of interaction. We want to discuss the Hall of Fame. What do we do to our alumni that have been contributing so much to the department? We have one alumnus that has contributed so much. During our last program, he donated 5.2 million on the spot. And after that, yes, you know who I'm talking about, and the person of ESV, Victor Alunge, the first vice president of the institution. And by the grace of God, in about 2 years' time, he will be the president of the institution. And after that 5.2 million, he has been doing a lot of things. He didn't stop. He has been doing a lot of things for the department. So we want to institute something like a Hall of Fame or a honors roll call or something. So we must find a way of appreciating, recognizing these people. There are so many. The last time we asked for donation towards the borehole, one individual gave us 770,000 naira. That is the money for a complete estimate for the borehole. He paid up everything. There are two estimates. One estimate was 770,000. The second estimate was 1.3 million. He said he will pay for the first estimate of 770,000, and he paid. Another person gave us 500,000 naira. So we cannot just let these people go unnoticed, unappreciated. That is not good. It's not our culture. That's not who we are. We must find a way of appreciating them. So we want to have a hall of fame. I want us to discuss that. Is it right? Should we go ahead? Are you in support? Please, is there anybody who wants to say something to that? This is an interactive section. What do you think we can do for our alma mater? The other time I was saying, I referred to Professor Victoria Bello as alumna. And people say, I know it's alumnus. And I said, I want to explain why I call her an alumna. You see, alumnus is actually masculine. Alumnus is masculine. Alumni is the plural. Alumna is the feminine. So for the female, you call them alumni, N-A. For male, N-U-S, alumnus. And then the plural is alumni. At least you've gained something. Yeah. Is it UK or US version? Who want to tell us UK or US? Anyway, let's come back to the interaction. We'll go back to grammar. This is not English department. So we'll go back to grammar later. So let's come to the interaction. The role of alumni in institutional development. So we have discussed Hall of Fame. Who want to support or refute? You want to say more on that? Should we go ahead? So you have the floor. So who want to say something that, or any other thing that you feel is part of the role of alumni in institutional development? Yes, the first person to speak, we have an award. We are going to have suya. The first person to speak, we have extra suya. Okay. Please, let's put our hands together for the dean.
You must remember my extra suya. So I'll get non-peppered and peppered. Thank you. Well, we are perhaps saying the obvious when we talk about this, but let me also repeat the obvious. And the obvious is that in Nigeria today, the funds from the federal government are dwindling. That's part of what ASU is on strike for. Needs assessments and things like that. We must understand that the funds coming to the university are so little. If you look at Obafemi Awolowo University, we used to sing that song, Great Ife, Africa's most beautiful campus. We still sing it, but I'm not so sure that it is still the most beautiful. Many people, some of the private universities and so on, Covenant University and so on, they will still come up and say, what is so beautiful about it? It is true we still have the buildings. You can't beat the buildings we have. Another thing that we have is the natural landscape. But the natural landscape is now getting unkempt. And so the claim to being Africa's most beautiful campus is now questionable. Recently, the head of state, President Buhari, said that the federal government cannot afford to maintain universities anymore. some of us may question that, but because there's a lot of money is being wasted and stolen and paid to public officers, Senate and so on. But still, the fact is that funds to universities are dwindling. And yet we must maintain standards. OEU IFE, Department of Estate Management, has always been the reference point in terms of research in the whole of Africa. Some people in South Africa with Watsera and so on, they may be trying to compete and all that, but it is still the reference point. But if we don't have the facilities, we cannot sustain that standard that people like Professor Ajayi has helped us to establish. We talked about property technology recently now. You can't do property technology without technology. And where's the technology coming from? And that's why we really appreciate our alumni. Alumni of Great Ife have really risen to the occasion. We really appreciate them. And God will continue to enrich their purses. But we still need more. And that's why when I look at someone like my friend that works in Glow, I say that, you can't just go like that. Oh, give us Wi-Fi. And give us money. The role of alumni in institutional building. In Nigeria, alumni is the thing now. The Vice Chancellor was talking to Deans recently, and he was talking again and again and again on alumni. We have accreditation coming up. There are some departments in the faculty that it's an eyesore. Look at their departments, an eyesore. If not been painted, roof leaking. I know in Ife we have flat roofs, Israeli architecture. Many faculties are leaking. Even the Department of Estate Management and other departments in what they call the old building are leaking. And you can imagine if accreditors come and as they are passing by, rain is dropping on them. Therefore, our former dean here is really trying her best. As for the drawings, the architectural drawings of the buildings and so on, which, well, let me not talk too much about that. Allocated a lot of money for accreditation to departments. The least department got 7.5 million, but the money is not forthcoming. At least not yet. And some HODs are saying, where's the money? Accreditation is normally November, December. The Department of Estate is expecting accreditation anytime. And usually, they may just give less than a week's notice. And so we need to prepare. And the VC called us and said, I think Professor Ade Goke and all of them were there, and the HOD of us, and so that we should explore the alumni. We continue to be proud of the alumni of the Estate Management Department, and we trust that you will rise to the occasion and do not allow your department to lose accreditation. It would be embarrassing if Great Ife, the Department of Estate Management, started by people like Professor Ajayi, loses accreditation. God forbid bad thing. Amen? But we need to rise to the occasion. And I'm confident because I know what the alumni of Great Ife can do. And like the MC has said, with the permission of the HOD, an honors roll will be opened for people who contribute substantially to the department. An honors roll will be opened. We've already talked about someone who contributed 5.2 million. In fact, what we did for him is that a classroom is dedicated to him. So many students now, the students are around. They say, maybe I call the class rep. Where is our lecture? It's at Alonge. Where is the lecture? It's at Olawori. You know. So perpetually their names will be immortalized. And others too who have contributed, Chief Jide Taiwo, Chief Goyega Fatimileyi, and others, their names will be immortalized. Your name too can be immortalized as you contribute to your alma mater. We all owe it a duty to contribute to the institution that trained us. Because without that institution, without that department, we will not be where we are today. We are a responsible alumni that recognizes that. And I want to challenge us again. Please, rise up to the occasion. Much more than I can say, much more than the head of department can say. We need your help now. I know the head of department is being careful. People have contributed for Professor Ajayi sent forth. He doesn't want to create a situation where we have giving fatigue, if I can put it like that. So he's being careful about putting it on the platform. Accreditation is coming, but still, many people contributed for the sent forth, but many people also have not yet contributed. And on behalf of the head of department, Dr. Yewole, I'm appealing to all our alumni to please rise up to the occasion again. Don't let your department get interim accreditation. The problem of interim accreditation is that if you get interim accreditation twice, it is denied accreditation. You can no longer admit students. That must not happen to our department in Great Ife. So, sir, before you go, you must talk. And every other person. I wouldn't ask Professor and Professor Mrs. Bello too much because ASU was paid half salary. Yes. Yeah. Yes, okay. But for all those alumni, online and those here who are here, please, your department, your alma mater is calling on you to please rise to the occasion and don't allow your department to lose full accreditation. In addition, if you are willing to come and help us teach on pro bono basis, you know what pro bono means? God bless you. Please see the head of department, Dr. Yewole. The university will issue you a letter of appointment. You can help us come and bring the practical experience to complement the theory that we are teaching. Sincerely speaking, I still saw the registrar a few days ago. She's expecting our letter for pro bono basis. Dwindling funds. We've not been able to employ lecturers for years now. The federal government has put an embargo on employment. So part of what the alumni can do to raise the level of the department is this pro bono thing. Please, like Professor Babade, is it? Okay. Unilag. Okay. Talk. Yes. And Rokpo. He's remembering things I used to say in class in those days. So, please, all of you. Don't worry about that one. Okay, so please rise up to the occasion. Help the department financially and also with, coming to help us teach. All the experience you've gained, come and give us case studies, field trips, things like that to help your department so that Great Ife will continue to be great. I've ended up giving a speech, but I think it's still okay. Yes. Yes, please, those online, we are appealing to you. You are still online. Please, Mrs. Araloyin Sharon, the account number of the department, Wema Bank, it will be displayed very soon. The account number of the department, please give. Okay. Please give so that your department can really be great. We really need it now. But I really empathize with the head of department. He doesn't want, like I said before, he doesn't want this fatigue. You give now. Those in church too. If you keep on pressuring the same people, give for this, give for that. What, they never see church, man. But please help us in this occasion. We have accreditation this month or next month. God will bless you as you do so. Amen. So, Professor Bello, my elder brother professor, has something to say.
Thank you, everybody. I just want to share one or two experiences and then maybe is it provoke you, Pastor, for us to be able to give? What do you do in the church to make people give? Actually, I believe the use of giving, depends on how you appreciate the contribution of the department into your life. And I want all of us to take this contribution very seriously. It is not how tedious the system was when you were there that you'll be looking at. What do you gain from the system? I remember we were in 100 level, 200 level, 300 level. It was a befitting thing at that time to go to the cafeteria system. You eat chicken. Yesterday was chicken, Wednesday, Sunday was chicken, ice cream. I remember our former commissioner in Ondo State. That was what made him to become welfare officer here. Ebisheni, he said, where has our ice cream gone to when we were doing campaign? That was what gave him he voted for him as the welfare officer. So, at a point in time, when we now went to 400 level, the Nigeria of today you are seeing started. Chicken disappear, orange disappear, no ice cream, no free tea, everything. So, in my room, in the whole of Awolowo Hall, I was the first person to start cooking. I was the first male person that started cooking. Our president, will I stop talking? Our president is...
Oh. So, online people, I greet you. Well, once again, I want to thank all of you, and I'm very happy to see Roko coming all the way from Lagos because of you. I have to, leave Benin today, disguise myself just to come over, and I want to thank Professor Gumba. He was almost sending a car. Even the Benin people want to, I said, no, let me just behave normal and come into Ife. So here I am. And to God be the glory. It's a wonderful thing. And I have spoken to the chairman. I don't need to mention it here. At all. Because you are one person God has given to us. You are an asset to the profession. An icon, living icon. I disturb you a lot. I'll say, oh God, I need this thing done. Quickly. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much. So I said I must be here to honor you. You deserve more than what we are even giving you. We are privileged to have you as an estate surveyor and valuer. And by the grace of God, at the right time, you will be more celebrated. So let me leave the rest for tomorrow, because I know that today is reunion and people are online. And I greet all of them. So once again, thank you so much. And God bless you. All of you. Thank you. All our professors. People have done well. Thank you so much. Before I go.
Before he goes, do you know his name? What's his name? Can we stand up and...
Who can spell that surname here? If you can spell it, let me know. Who can spell it? I give you 2 minutes. 1 minute. Okay, try. Yes? Yes? A-M-A? Y-A? No. The last chance, yes. Yes? You see, sorry. What I wanted to just do, nobody got it. I wanted to, that if anybody has gotten that name right, I would have issued a scholarship for this year. So get prepared for other surprises tomorrow. No, you have gone to Google my name already.
Please, before you go, sir, can we stand up and honor him with our OAU anthem? Great fair, Africa's most beautiful camp. We are conscious, vigilant, progressive, alert against all oppression. Forward ever, backward never, for learning and culture, sports and struggle. Great effect, great. I love you. There is only one great effect in the universe. Another great effect is a counterfeit. Great, greatest effect.
Before our president leaves, I want to make one announcement concerning him. Like he said, he has very high regard for Oga, Professor C. Ajayi. Please sit down. Please sit down. And because of the very high regard he has for him, he instituted a prize in the department. Best graduating student in advanced valuation. In honor of Professor C.A. Ajayi. Thank you so much, sir. God bless you. Yes, sir.
Please, not tomorrow. We have Suya night tonight. And you have an award to collect. Suya night is opposite where you are staying, so it's not far. 7 p.m., sir. Okay, so, yes. Now, do we present it now or you come for the Suya night? It's Suya night, Suya night. Aha, good. Thank you very much. That's good, that's good. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. All right, sir. Yes, sir. So we'll close now and continue. We'll continue at the. Please, we are going to close now and continue at the Suya night. The section, evening section continues at the Suya spot at Staff Club opposite the conference center. So we just continue there. So please, since we've seen our president and is coming for the Suya night, we'll continue at the Suya night. Thank you all for coming. Our members online, I don't know how you want to join us for the Suya night, but we have Suya night tonight at the Staff Club by 7 p.m. Thank you very much. Those of you online, we are grateful to have you online. Thank you very much. So the program continues by 7 p.m. at the Staff Club. Thank you very much. Thank you all for coming. God bless you.